Welcome to a nice, peaceful, relaxing game known as Ultrakill. Alright, welcome to Ultrakill. I'm sure if you've clicked on this video, you're probably already familiar with the game and probably much better than me at the game. But in case you didn't, Ultrakill is a mega fast-paced boom shooter where you live teetering on the edge of insanity and euphoria because you could be as slow as this and it'll still feel like you're going 1,000 miles per hour. It's an indie game with an insane amount of care put into it and a very passionate and very neurodivergent fan base.
I think someone has daddy issues.
I do not have daddy issues. I am Papa Speckle fucking boss.
You play as a robot who feeds off of blood for whatever reason, and you get a small platoon's worth of guns to carry around and pick up literally whatever gets in your way. The game is very bloody, very fast, and very fun. Currently, there is only 2.5 acts out, which is actually more than plenty gameplay, especially when you're looking at getting new scores and secrets. I haven't done quite everything yet, and I have like 8 hours on the normal mode alone, not even touching on the brutal mode. So there is plenty to do. Anyways, with all of that out of the way, let's talk about Act 1 of the game. Okay, I lied already. It's time for the prelude, but for transition's sake, I said Act 1. Sue me! The prelude is a short section with all the basic enemies and the basic mechanics. But, oh ho ho, don't you worry, little guy. Everything is still ranked and compared to your Steam friends with challenges. So, the pressure is still very much on. Anywho, there's not too much to go over in the prelude. The level design is quick and fun, and the final boss of the prelude is this Cerberus, which is just 2 walking statue enemies that become normal enemies later, of course. Sorry if these are your favorite levels, but time to get on to the real shit. Now, you may be wondering, what's so special about Act 1? And I would tell you, nothing really in particular. This act is just kind of overall solid. Acts work in layers, like onions, and onions are chemically altered to be full of guns, guts, and violence. But let's start with the layer 1 of this onion. Wow, it's so peaceful here. I never want to leave. What the f is happening? Mission 1 introduces some fundamental concepts, like these key skulls that are going to be used throughout the game. Somehow, my past self has no idea how these work, and I proceed to spend 7 minutes looking like an enraged chimp trialing insanity. Yeah, I was really lost here. This entire level is some sort of simulation, and all the blood goes over the invisible walls, and it's really cool and shit. Anyways, on to the next level, and it's all on fire. My peaceful home is burned away now. But I guess it wasn't really that peaceful or my home at all. The game steadily increases the speed, which is super fun while constantly giving you more guns to commit atrocities with. Like in level 1, I found this nail gun lying around. So that's my nail gun now. The nail gun is probably one of my favorite weapons, but not this variant, so I'll bring it up again later. Mission 2 is standard progression.
Blaze through, kill shit, hell yeah!
Sounds like an average Sunday to me. And Mission 2 also happened to be my very first P-ranked level. Yup. That's me. Save your applause for later, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all that really happens in Mission 2. So let's look at 3, where we have another mini-boss. Ooh, I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but this is the Hideous Mass, which is another name I could use for your mother, but that's besides the point. This blob picked me up a few times, but it's not that bad. It's like the game's segue into fighting bigger and badder creatures because, spoiler alert, you can fight this guy way later in the game as a regular enemy. Wow, who could have seen that coming? That's gonna be a common theme in this game. But now, for a quiet walk through a dark variant of the castle we were just in. Complete change of pace, where instead of ripping and tearing, I'm searching for blue skulls with soothing music, which took me an embarrassingly long amount of time, but that's besides the point. Past the door, we have one of my favorite early game bosses of all time, actually, V2. It's another version of the robot you're controlling with similar weapons to fight with. Oh man, I wish my arm was red. That's so badass. This fight is super fun though, because it's a perfect opening that feels extremely fast and difficult since you kinda don't exactly know what you're doing. But going back at it, hopefully you do know what you're doing, or at least somewhat, and it gets kinda trivialized, which, as it should, it feels great. But for now, this bugger V2 finally escapes, but he heard my pleas and donated his arm. What a sweetheart. Oh, also, the arm has a shotgun built into it, which is awesome, but who didn't expect this? Layer 2 takes us to a completely different Neo City-like place, which feels faster paced, and it doesn't just feel faster paced because it actually is faster paced. Mission 1 has you tearing your way up towers and crossing skyscrapers like Mirror's Edge with a lot more blood and murder. Also, whoever made the falling sound effect for the enemies loves to have fun with their craft. That shit is hilarious. Sure, you're falling through the glass panes, but so are the enemies, and it is very funny. Level 1 is quick, and now we can look at stage 2, which unintentionally lowers the pace for me. But that's not the level's fault. That's because I'm a fucking dumbass, and I can't find these power boxes literally anywhere. My time was cooked, but if you wanted to, this level could be super fast, because you just go hit the power boxes and get out. But I find a way to get lost in every game I play. On the bright side, we have a fucking railgun now, which feels like the final piece of the puzzle for our arsenal. That'll fucking do. And we still have one more weapon yet to unlock. Level 2 clears up eventually though, and we can move on to level 3. And honestly, I had to come back and edit the script because, I forgot about this stage. It's pretty cool though. I'm introduced to swimming in water as a robot, which is neat, but I guess we are drinking blood, so there's gotta be some sort of water resistance in there. The most notable thing in this level is the mind flare, which I need to know if there's a option to remove that helmet that's on it, asking for a friend. Hey, don't look at me like that. Anyways, enough gooning around. It's time for the boss stage, which yet again is a dark, quiet atmosphere. They just love doing this, don't they? Just me and my trusty minecart through the tunnels. And of course, there's a massive hand the size of the tunnel. Why would I be surprised about anything anymore? Best way to deal with it? You just shoot it, I don't know. Let's just beat the shit out of it. And that works out pretty nicely. But this was just a teaser. As we continue down the tracks, it's time for the actual boss. King Minos. And hey, it's that hand I was just fighting. Very cool name. I suppose he has the size to back it up. There's a few things I love about this boss. Like the fact that he just throws hands with you and there's no ranged bullshit coming from him. No projectiles. Well, there's one projectile, but that's besides the point. He just throws hands. He just punched you in the face. There's also no bullet drop distance in this fight, so I could just rip into the sky with a nail gun, which feels liberating. The boss isn't too hard though, so let's see where it leads us. And oh yeah, I should have seen this coming. The last layer of Act 1 takes place inside the Corpse King that we just killed, and it is just as gross in here as you would imagine. What the fuck is this? The level design is really cool though, so you get points for that. The first stage here is just a culmination of everything you've learned throughout the first few layers, but more challenging. I don't really know what else to say here, so just watch me kill some shit. Moving on, and now it's time for the climax of Act 1. It's boss fight time, and I showed him in the intro, but this is Gabriel, who has one of the sickest voice actors of all time. This shit goes so hard. And so does the fight. It's constant fighting with some back and forth, especially when John Angel over here starts taunting you. You get some time for some free hits, but I still died quite a bit. I'm pretty sure this fight took me something like, I don't know, 17 attempts. Yep, says 17 right there. I am not ashamed of dying 17 times because I can first try it now. The fight is just so fucking fun. He has a simple, quick, high damaging skill set with some range attacks that can be parried, and everything has its own sound cue. On paper, that should make it easy, but on a first playthrough, it makes it overwhelming. Seeing so many opportunities to learn in the fight ends up drowning you and causing you to mess up. The bottom line is I found this fight difficult the first time around, but it was a very fun fight. And that leads us to the end of Act 1.
Behold, the power of an angel!
Okay, danger from the future here. I just found out literally today that there is actually another secret boss known as Minos Prime that you can unlock through P ranking all the levels. I had no idea about this, so I did not do this on my playthrough. I'm working towards it now, but for this video, the Milkman is sadly going to be left out. He seems like a cool boss. Apparently, he's the hardest and most complex boss. I'll see about that myself. Sorry if you're looking forward to it. Anyways, that's all. Time for Act 2. Layer 1 starts in the goddamn sand dune, which is quite the annoying level design, but at least it looks nice. Out of all that happens in Act 2, to be honest, this level is the one I have the least to say about. It has a solid pace and is plenty fun, but not much happens here. Dual-wielding guns, hell yeah! Oh yeah, and also you can get smited by an angel with an orbital laser. So that's cool. Moving on. Mission 2 is more hot sand and a new mechanic that is absolutely necessary, to be honest. Nerfing the healing with sand-covered enemies. I had not quite figured out at the time, but if you just want to clear levels, you can pretty well just hold chainsaw or the railgun or any shotgun and face tank enemies. So the sanded enemies is a pretty important concept, because now you can't heal off of certain enemies, and breaking these hourglass enemies in a bad spot will cause multiple enemies to become sandy. Note, I had no idea how the hourglass guys worked at the time. What I learned though is if you think something can't bleed, you just have to try harder. And even if they don't bleed, well, they probably died anyways. At the end, there's also a mini boss, but I'm not gonna lie, he is such a pushover. Sisyphus over here can barely hit me, and when he does, it's like a wet napkin from a little kid's birthday party. So moving on to level 3. And to start, this level. This shit is awful. Not because it was difficult or anything like that, but it inhibits your ability to see, you know? The ability to use those eyeballs you were given at birth. And while doing this, you have to find these torches to light. And overall, I took way too long, which means it's the game's fault, not mine. It could never be my fault. I do like the final 2 rooms though. They're very chaotic and very fun. The end of the first layer is a boss fight, as you'd expect, and it's a familiar face. Welcome back, V2. It's time for our revenge match. I'm not doing another intro to this guy, though the first phase is essentially the same as last time, but with better guns and more aggression. He's a little bit more difficult overall. I especially had a hard time dealing with the railgun, which is what comprised of the majority of the difficulty, but the fight was still very fun. And the second phase, where you chase after V2, is badass. Sliding down the pyramid while still lighting each other up makes for a great scene that is a relatively easy but extremely fun moment. The fight ends with the defeat of V2, and yup, he is definitely dead. I don't want to hear any comments about V2 still being alive. That guy is literally a stain on the pavement. If you want to comment about it, you better have a very good explanation. Anyways, now we also unlock the grapple hook, which is an essential tool and is the most fun arm attachment in the game so far, and it's so awesome to use. Anywho, let's move on to layer 2. Holy shit, I'm underwater now. The level takes a complete 180 from the desert and plunges you down into the depths of the water. The goal stays the same: kill anything in your way and find that red exit. Only problem with that plan? There's more skulls to find, and I'm damn slow at getting them. That's all for this part though. The later portion of the level has another major shift in aesthetic, but nothing too crazy happens besides killing shit. Mission 2 yoinks us back into the water again. This layer really cannot decide what it's going for. Mission 2 looks to introduce these angel statues in the middle of the sea, which make enemies invulnerable until you fist the statue. That doesn't sound right. Ignore that. I really like how Act 2 has already added 2 mechanics for the enemies to defend themselves with. Makes you actually somewhat have to think sometimes, in order to tear through everything in sight. Nothing much else to add until the end of the level, where we find a mini-boss, another machine-like boss, the Ferryman. A very standard, but very fun fight. I really have no complaints with this fight, but also not much to say about it. The design looks great, and using the newly introduced angel statues is a great idea. The Ferryman dashes around like a lunatic, but so am I, and with the help of a trusty chainsaw to the face, he goes without too much difficulty. Mission 3 is a weird mansion level. Standard progression until about halfway through this mansion, where shit starts hitting the fan and it starts throwing curveballs, like filling up with water and flipping all sorts of different ways. Besides all the flipping business, the key thing you need to get in this level is access to the final weapon type, being the rocket launcher. I personally kind of forgot about it for a while until I went back after recording to get some faster time. This weapon is a speedrunning machine, crazy knockback for enemies, and with the slowing time for rockets ability, you can do some wild shit. You won't see any of that in this video. Sorry, I don't have footage of that. That's enough about mission 3, because just like every other layer, it always has to end with a boss fight. Mission 4 starts at the bottom of the ocean in a dark place, only lit by the lightning strikes above. Looking up leads you to catch a glimpse of what you're heading towards, a massive snake-like creature. Surfacing shows you the beast in its full form, the Leviathan. Had to make it dramatic, of course. This guy looks sick. This is the Leviathan boss fight. That starts you on a dinky little boat to just try to lay into this massive beast from afar. I found out in later runs after that you can grapple to his weak spot, but I ain't doing all that in my first clear, so let's be so for real. Grappling around the boat is a suggested way of going about dealing with his attacks, but I've also realized if you want to be a real badass, just punching the big guy in the face works plenty good. Just like a majority of attacks in this game, you could parry it, and it feels so invigorating. Let's look at the second phase now. Finished boat, let's fight on Leviathan now. Boss provides you some place to stand on with his own body and changes up his attack pattern a lot. It's honestly just an easier version of the first phase, but it looks a lot cooler, and that's what really matters. Lots of bullets later, and it's finally time to move on. the final layer of Act 2. The first mission of Layer 3 is, of course, your pre-boss fight level. A long level with a lot of shit going on. Enemies that were commonly found as singles earlier now gang up on you, and it's a very hectic environment. I love the look of the level here. It perfectly embodies what I think I would find in a game called Ultrakill. Dark red walls with blood pillars and a metric shit ton of enemies. Yeah, that's Ultrakill. It's probably one of the most fun levels in the game currently, though. It has almost every enemy type found in the earlier levels. And of course, the hideous mass from earlier makes a reappearance. But now there's two hideous masses. Your aunt must have shown up for dinner as well. Tasteless jokes aside, fighting two of these guys at once is quite a lot, especially with an abundance of basic enemies. But the last level of an act should have some difficulty, of course. With that all covered, we can move on to the final boss of Act 2. Of course. A dramatic run through the bloody atmosphere is what leads us to our rematch with Gabriel. He didn't actually die from this first fight, and he actually took it quite poorly.
Machine, I will cut you down, rake you apart, splay the gore of your profane form across the stars. I will grind you down until the very sparks cry for mercy. My hands shall relish ending you here and now.
Now, instead of being angelic, he has taken the form of the Apostle of Hate. For some reason, though, this Apostle has to aura farm on the piano before the fight, of course. Gabriel is now in an enraged state for this battle. No more taunting, no more underestimating machines, just pure hatred. It's an extremely fun fight, and the arena this time around suits him a lot better than the last one did. Lots more yelling and a lot more speed means he creased my shit a good couple times. As I did reset after reset, I eventually figured that bleed is a broken mechanic. With one shot of the drill version of the railgun, and holding the chainsaw shotgun out, you can clear almost the entire first health bar while tanking his attack. Doesn't save me from the second phase though, and that's where I found a lot of difficulty. It's a great fight, and I'll stop yapping, because of course I'll show you some gameplay of the actual fight.
You're getting rusty, machine!
Well, that's gonna conclude this little Ultrakill video. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you're not too disappointed about not seeing Act 3, but it's just not fully released yet, so I don't really want to leave this video on a cliffhanger. There was a lot I didn't cover in this video, like a bunch of secrets and secret levels, so feel free to mention any secrets in the comments. I'm very sorry to all you Minos Prime's fans for not covering his fight.
Prepare thyself, thy end is now.
Did you really think I was gonna leave it there? This is the real final boss of this video. Minos Prime is a secret boss found after getting a P rank on every level in the prelude and Act 1. And apparently, he's really difficult. And judging by the footage you're seeing in the background, yeah, he was pretty tough. Now, he didn't take me as many attempts as some of the other bosses, but you need to take into account that this was the latest thing I've done in the game, and I'm a lot better than I was during my first clear. Anyways, this fight, honestly, I don't even know what to say about it. Everything is awesome. The build-up with the disgusting flesh person was great. The monologues are amazing to hear. The actual moveset is so sick. It's all intense, and I love it. I see the hype about it, and it was a super fun fight. And here is the milkman himself, drop-kicking my teeth into the back of my skull. Okay, for real this time. No more twists. This is the end of the video. Ultrakill is fun. If you haven't played it, go play it. And if you haven't played in a while, go for it again. Or if you played it yesterday, go play it. It's a great game. It's been a while since I posted it, and this video took me way too long to make because I've been busy. But I'm still alive, and I'm still cooking, just a little bit less than usual, and a little bit less than when I started this channel. Speaking of which, this channel's anniversary was in August, which is pretty cool. This channel is a year old now. Happy birthday to me. This end card doesn't really matter in the end, but if you made it this far, I thank you very, very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.